So what is threshold work? Should you do it for a new runner? What it does for you in terms of the science? And yes, it will make you faster, so you need threshold work. Drop a comment if you do threshold work. I know a lot of runners don't. They're scared of it because of the pacing and the heart rate, but I'm going to break down everything you need to know. This way you can get faster, raise your lactate threshold, and enjoy speed workouts. So just got back from my 10-mile run, put it here, training for my seventh ultra, and now let's dive into threshold work. It's basically your body's ability to sustain a hard effort without actually getting super fatigued. Let me dive into it. So threshold work is running just at or below your lactate. Now, to find your lactate, we can do what's called a test. Now, obviously, you have to go to a lab for this, and you run at a very hard effort for 30 minutes. You get your blood sample, and that will show you how much lactate is in your blood and when it starts to build up. The second half that we can go off of, if we're not going off of blood samples, is our heart rate. The way that you do this is that you kind of take a test, 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and you take the last 20 minutes of that hard effort. So if it's 30 minutes, you're going to take 10 minutes into 30 minutes of you going extremely hard and take that average heart rate, and that's typically where your lactate is starting to build. Now, it's very important to do threshold work because it's going to allow your body to dictate how fast and how long it can run at a extremely fast effort, basically a race pace effort. So think about it like this. Zone ones are the easy work. Zone threes are a mix between tempos, which are easy works, and fast. Zone four are faster workouts. Now, how we do these workouts, I'm going to explain in a second, but it's very important to do these fast workouts because it not only teaches your heart to pump and to have a better stroke volume, but also it helps with mitochondria function, oxygen delivery, and your lactate. To build up lactate to clear it, that is an elite runner right there, or that is the sign of a very good runner's aerobic system and ability to build up clear lactate, thus making them faster and allowing them to have more stamina, endurance, and go for longer. So now let's talk about how to train, how frequently, and everything like that. If you're a beginner, at least once a week. You can do it on a Wednesday. I do not recommend doing it before a long run in case you're sore. Intermediate runner could be twice a week. A Monday, Wednesday. Elite runners can be 2 to 3 times a week. I train them 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the volume that I do per week. I typically can do a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Now, how we train these workouts are simple. There's a couple ways. We can do intervals, 3x10s at your threshold. We could do a medium session, which could be 20 minutes straight steady at your threshold, upwards to 40. Or it could just be shorter intervals like 8x1Ks with the rest in between. My favorite session, if I do it Monday, Wednesday, and then I save another threshold for Saturday, is doing it on a long run. So if I have 20 miles, I'll do 5-mile warm up, 5-mile threshold, 5-mile easy, 5-mile threshold, and that'll be the workout. I love workouts like that. So it's important to train your threshold work because that's, for a 5K, 10K, half marathon, what you're going to be racing at. And you want to be able to run that effort for a very long time. And you do that with threshold work, the intervals and the steady states and everything like that. I could go on this topic for hours. I love speed work. I love threshold. I love the science behind it with the lactate buildup and clearance and that kind of thing. So drop a comment. I will respond to all comments. That is pretty much my gist on threshold work, when to do it, how frequently, and some sample workouts in order for you to get faster, more efficient at holding a sustained effort for longer periods of time. So with that being said, I am out of here.